You have created a monster and it will destroy you.
She's alive! Alive!
I am Dracula.
Hello, welcome to Monster Manor. We have a very special show tonight. As many of you have seen, we've been doing promos for a great con in the Orlando area in Central Florida called Fantasm Orlando. Now, for those who haven't been able to see the show in person, you're going to have a chance because forget about COVID. It's coming back, and hopefully with a vengeance, because October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, this is going to be a hell of a show. And tonight we have the privilege of having the creator of the show, Tony GRECO, here. So without further ado, let's bring Tony into the picture here and talk to him.
Hello, Scott.
Hey, Tony, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing well, doing well.
Now, we didn't talk too much up until me seeing that Phantasm was coming back, and I was so happy to find out that you're kind of a nerd like me. That's very rare nowadays to find someone that's doing what you're doing, which is an incredible thing, but doing it for all the right reasons. You're just a fan of this stuff. So I would love to go back in time and what brought this on? I mean, what was little Tony like, growing up? What were your inspirations when you were a kid?
Well, when I was very young, I was a big Batman fan. That was my number one thing. And I know you're a Batman fan as well. The Adam West was my Batman. Grew up watching it. Obviously not the first time it was on, but in the reruns. And used to watch with my father. Loved it. I was always Batman. Batman, tie a cape around my neck, run around the house. Most of the time it was a towel with a safety pin, but I was always a Batman fan. And then when I moved to Florida in '81, obviously still a Batman fan. Mm-hmm. I started finding Friday the 13th, and Creature Feature was on television on 44. And I was always a Godzilla fan. Creature from the Black Lagoon. I know you're a fan of that as well. He's my monster. So growing up in the 80s, late 70s and the 80s, it was just a good time, and I like sci-fi. I grew up on Buck Rogers. I grew up on Star Wars, obviously Battlestar Galactica, The Black Hole. But started really getting into Friday the 13th, and I loved Creepshow. That was one of my favorite movies.
Oh, yeah.
That's just, I probably watched that when that was on television or on HBO, Creepshow and like Poltergeist every single time. So.
Oh, that was my summer, man. I swear we could have been friends back then.
82, man. 82. Yeah. Big summer for movies. So, but I just, I've always liked it. I've always liked comic books and monster movies and things like that. My, mother didn't appreciate it too much. She didn't like all the scary stuff and things like that, but she indulged me.
Yeah. I think we were both fortunate in that regard to have parents that actually supported that stuff. I had parents like that too, that I've talked about it with other guests, that there was a Paramount Theatrical in Orlando. We were close enough to that we could actually go to a real makeup store, and they indulged me in that. So I was constantly getting in trouble in school, trying out effects and stuff there when I shouldn't. And I went to a small private school, so it went over like a fart in a church,
Right. I didn't do much in the ways of effects. I was an artist I drew a lot when I was younger. Didn't really get into sculpting until I met a friend in 1990 and got into prosthetics and sculpting and mask making. I didn't really do a lot of the sculpting with him. I helped him do some molds, but that was Greg Baker. He was a local talent here. Recently passed away, but
Yes,
he was a
yes.
great man.
Yeah, and producer lady, we actually have a picture of a makeup that Greg did on you, Bub.
Yeah.
If you see that in the photos there, producer lady, she's actually remote today, so she's handling this broadcast from North Carolina. So technology.
Oh yes, I'm not a technological fan.
Yeah, yeah. If you can find that picture, it's Bub from he's in the zombie makeup, but that's actually you, right?
That's me. I grew my hair out for it, and then had my wife's aunt trim it down and dye it, and it came out a little bit red, but it still worked. And then he did a full dragon skin appliance that started at the neck and went around the whole face up to the hairline. That was the Howard Sherman sculpt, like Savini's sculpt, and it was all glued onto me, and I had contacts in and blacked my teeth out a bit and stuff. And yeah, we actually showed it to Savini one time, and he kind of went gaga for it a little bit. So.
Oh, that is amazing, man. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I
And
wish. Go ahead.
you were friends with Greg up until his passing recently. You know, I can tell you, Orlando, Central Florida, Florida in general, just isn't a great place for makeup now. And I know there have been a lot of different bounds lately, but how
Yeah.
fortunate it was for us, you know, at that age in the '80s, it was great time for that sort of thing because, of course, the inspiration was there, but they were trying to bring that to Florida and everything. So we had the advantage. We were like the early tests for Georgia, I guess. But
Yeah, probably. I know Sarasota, Florida tried to do stuff with their film commission and get stuff down. It was moderately successful, and then it would go away and come back. But he did a lot of stuff for that, and
yeah.
yeah, and then Tampa. Now we might have another chance at it with Florida. So
Yeah, yeah. For those that haven't heard, it's actually George Romero's son. He's going to be making a big move to try to bring some film work back to Florida. So that's welcome news as well.
yeah, yeah.
So I know we also have something in common. You were in the 501st, no?
Yes, I was. I took a break from that recently with 2019, and when COVID happened, they didn't do a lot of events and stuff. But yes, I did that. I started, I think it was 2002 was when I started. So yeah, I've been in it quite a while. Just taking a break from it now. But we did the Star Wars weekends at Disney when they did that. It's a shame that's gone now, but that was always a highlight. But yeah, I did Stormtrooper. I did I do the Imperial Officer, and I did a Hondo Anaka from Clone Wars. But
oh wow,
when this took off and then we started to do this, that kind of took a back seat a little bit. I still love it. I still like it. It's just trying to get this cemented,
Well, I can certainly understand that because this is, when you're putting on a show, we got a taste of it with Gillibration. And it is more than a full-time job. And nobody I know works one job now. But to add something like putting on a show like Fantasm, we were showing a couple of pictures before of the prior show. That was 2019. That was first year, and it was really, from everything that I've heard, I didn't get to go because we were on a deadline, but everyone was talking about Phantasm and how great it was, and the guest lineup, and you can just tell there was such a feeling about that show. So we're excited that we're going to be able to be there. What happened that it was like, oh, we got to do a show, because that's such a big undertaking for anyone. When did you get hit by that bug?
It was actually, I believe it was 2018. I decided, I was talking about, well, let's do another show. There's conventions. There's other conventions starting to pop up. Let's do another one. There's, a few horror conventions in the state. But I feel that there's room for one more. And some conventions have gotten a little, I don't know, a little big, a little too big, and they become more a commercial type thing. Not to say that we don't want to have a big success, but a lot of people do a lot of shopping online now. And if you don't have something at a show they can't get someplace else, you're just going to buy something, getting some autographs, and going home. It's kind of nice to have, you have a nighttime burlesque show or a band or something like that. And we want to bring more of the interactivity back to a convention and not just a flea market type thing. And as things get bigger and it grows, you get more opportunities to bring some of that stuff back. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of money. And it's not just hit the ground running and you go. You can be over ambitious. You can do too much. You can do too little. Feedback for our first year was really, really impressive. Everyone seemed to have a good time. There was some constructive criticisms that we've taken to heart and tried to not repeat the same mistakes. So I think that it's going back to when I was younger, and we had talked a little bit about it before, is like I used to go to the Star Trek conventions. Yeah. And it was just more intimate, I think. And you felt more like I'm there with other people doing the same thing that I like to do. And it's not just, stand in a line, buy something, go home. That's kind of gone away in the convention market. And it'd be nice to bring that back. And that's what we're trying to do.
Oh God, from everything I've heard though, and in talking with you guys about just what we're kind of talking with you about, what our participation level, and finding out, I mean, definitely go on the website. If you guys haven't, the viewers that are Manor inhabitants, please go to the phantasmorlando.net, because if you look at everything that's going on, it really is creating an experience. You guys have done a great job in selecting elements that are an experience, whether it is the burlesque show or even having the savior there. That's something that you don't see at every show, and that's going to be fantastic. Phantasmagoria, which I've seen for years, they're fantastic. I mean, it really is going to be an event. This thing is a huge, huge event that there's something for everyone. You guys have done a great job with that, so I wouldn't worry about that at all.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for the plug. Excuse me. The Savior Impala was a big hit. He was there our first year, and he's going to come back again. We have a couple returning. Yes, there it is, baby.
Yes, and that is gorgeous.
My daughter is a huge Supernatural fan, so she really loved that. So
yeah, producer lady here behind the scenes, she was also a big fan of that show, so I think it's appropriate to have it there as well. Since we're the show is wrapped now, unfortunately. I think they probably still had other stories to do, but what a way to go out.
Yeah, you never know what they can do. I know without spoiling anything, some things didn't wrap up the way a lot of people wanted it to, but something can always happen, especially now with people writing in these not protests, but they write in fan letters, and other things can start happening again, and it could kick something off. It could kick off another season or a movie or something.
Yeah. Hey, they brought back Star Trek with a campaign like that, so hey.
got the Snyder Cut of Justice League with a campaign.
That was too. Yeah.
So yeah. And even cartoons, they get canceled and they bring them back. Like, Family Guy got brought back.
That's right. So. Yeah, I think people underestimate sometimes the power of the viewers. If enough of them write in, I know with Face Off, they canceled after, what was it, season 13? And there's been a huge campaign. I don't know what the interest level is because I haven't heard anything out of the producers, but there's been a campaign for that. I think anytime you have something that people love that much that goes off, you're always going to have that, though.
Yeah, well, prosthetics and physical makeups and things have started to make its way back. It went digital for a while, and now they're trying to, bring that back in with horror and science fiction. No one wants to work in front of a green screen exclusively.
Yeah. I mean, even what was it? Ewan McGregor was talking about doing so much green screen with Lucas for the prequels, and he was like, I'm a good actor, and I can't act to a green screen.
What am I looking at? What is that?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a lot different. I mean, back in the day, it was all physical. It was right in front of you, and now someone's shoving a tennis ball in your face.
Yeah. Well, let's hopefully it'll all come back. I like the makeups. I like, even the older stuff. Even if you can see the lines, or you can see where the bullet hole is, an inch thicker than the rest of his forehead, it's still they made the effort to do it. You know what I mean? And it makes it better.
Yeah, and that's where I think you can have kind of the dividing line that, yes, if you have a practical effect, one that really did it well was Captain America First Avenger, because you had that beautiful, the Red Skull makeup, and there were elements that couldn't necessarily be physical, like the nose, you're going to have a human nose. But they were able to green screen out just the tip of the nose and fix that in CGI. That I think is appropriate. And there are certain elements where you have to have CGI. But if Stan Winston can build a life-size T-Rex that works, come on.
Yeah. 30 years ago too, so it's
yes. Yeah. So we have so much to look forward to with Phantasm, because I've been on the page quite often looking at the guest lineup that you guys were able to get again this year. Would you like to talk about some of the highlights and the guests that you have coming on?
Sure. We have Nick Castle from the original Halloween. He was the original Michael Myers. He is also in the newer Halloweens with James Jude Courtney, who is also coming. So we have the original Michael and the current Michael, and both Michaels from the new movies. So that's exciting to us. Tommy Lee Wallace, who directed Halloween 3 and did a lot of was in the Coupe de Villes with John Carpenter, also created the Michael Myers shaped mask from the William Shatner, of course. He will be joining us. PJ Souls and John Michael Graham will be there. That's Bob and Linda from the original Halloween, so that's totally cool.
Yes.
Tom Atkins and Stacey Nelkin from Halloween 3, along with Tommy Wallace, will be there. So I'm real excited to meet Tom Atkins. I mean, he's just been in everything. He's always playing great roles.
Oh yeah.
He'll be great to meet. Mimi Craven, the wife of Wes Craven, will be there. She's from Swamp Thing, and she was in Nightmare on Elm Street as well. The nurse from that. Marley Renfro. Now, Marley Renfro is exciting because she is the body double from the shower scene in the original Psycho. So she seems like she's going to be a lot of fun. I know she brings shower curtains and things to sign for people. So it's kind of a neat. I'm excited to meet her. Psycho is a great. It's the first slasher, really, if you think about it. And then there was the long gap, and then, But Camille Keaton from I Spit on Your Grave will be joining us. Catherine Parks from Halloween 3 3D, Vera, she will be joining us. We mentioned the Savior Impala will be coming back. Count Gore Duvall, a horror host. He's excited to be with us this year.
Oh God, I'm excited to meet him myself.
Mike Christopher will be rejoining us again, the Hare Krishna zombie from Dawn of the Dead. So he's excited to come back. He can come back every year if you'd like. We got a lot of authors returning, local authors. Owl Going Back, Jackie Sonnenberg, Ken Barr, Tyson Hanks, John Catapano.
Yes.
And we were excited to have Scott Marlowe back, but he passed away last year, so I wanted to mention him. It was, a shock to us. We knew he was to coming back. So, but yeah, it's going to be a great. Oh, Sean Clark. I forgot to mention Sean Clark of Horror House Ground. How could I forget to mention Sean Clark? He'll be joining us. So, I'm looking forward to a Horror House Ground panel if we can get one out of him. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well, we have other things to announce that are in the works right now, but that'll be coming up.
Yeah. That's the thing is now is a good time for our viewers if you haven't gotten on it yet. Like I said, after the show, of course, run over and check out phantasmorlando.net because they're adding stuff all the time. You just added, I believe it was last week, the burlesque show, or maybe it was the end of the week before that. But I mean, that's a new edition. There's stuff that's popping up all over the place on that. You have to sign up, and then you get all of these updates. So it's amazing. It's amazing.
There's a volunteer link on there if someone would like to volunteer, and we're not going to work you to death. You pick your, what you'd like to do. There's panels. You can put in for a panel, and all that's right there on the website. Just click the buttons, drop down the tabs, and go from there. Book your room as well. The hotel is incredible.
Yes.
Rose and Shingle Creek, gorgeous venue.
Yes.
So.
Now, you guys educated me quite a bit in one thing, and I did want to mention that during the show. We've done promos and spots, but I would love my audience to hear straight from the horse's mouth how important it is to go through the website to book your hotel, especially on a new show, a relatively new show like Fantasm. You want to talk about that a little bit and why it's so important to book through the through the phantasm.net website?
Yeah. Well, not only are you there, you'll be staying at the place. You just get up, throw your clothes on, come down and join the show. But it's also the reason we get these spaces is the hotels want to pull in guests. And the more you want to do, the more that the hotel wants to fill their rooms. So it's kind of a give and take. And it also helps the show because if you book your room through the hotel, they say, hey, this is something special. People are coming to this. They're staying at our hotel because they want to, not only is the a great hotel, but they want to come to this show. Whatever show is at a hotel. It's not just horror conventions. It really helps the hotel offer you more space so you can do more things. A lot of people were, why can't you do this, do this, do this? It's all contingent on the hotel, and they really, really want you to stay there, and that helps the show. It's not a greed thing. It helps everything build, helps the show get bigger and helps the show prosper enough to become bigger. So
yes. And one thing that I noticed in comparing prices, because of course you always look around at what's going on. The other hotels that are in that area are nowhere near the look and quality of the Rose and Shingle Creek, and it's within dollars. I mean, you're not saving a lot. So I mean, by booking through the website, obviously they're getting good rooms. They're go no further. You're right there, and you guys have a lot of late activities planned. So book your room and go in. And if it's like $5 more than staying at a less quality hotel,
right? And this hotel, there's like 4 or 5 restaurants in it. There's there's sushi bars. There's a few bars. There's a fully stocked convenience store, and I'm not talking like a 7-Eleven convenience store. I'm talking about a nice convenience store that's open 24 hours just down in the lobby of just below the lobby of the place. And they have 3 pools, and it's just everything you could want is right there. If you did want to leave, there's a Publix right across the street. So it's
and the game room there too. Isn't there a game room I saw pictures of that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like back when I was a kid.
Yeah, there's downstairs to the left of the big breakfast restaurant. There's an arcade. Yep.
Oh man,
Gorgeous place. Yeah, I think even the guests last year were like, this place is an insane place, and they want us to be able to fill that hotel. They want us to make that their home, and that's what we want as well. So
go
to the site, check out the hotel, book your hotel room, and you won't regret it. I don't think you'll stay in a better place.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm looking forward to it because we're local, fairly local. We're in North Central Florida, and originally we were like, you know what, we'll commute, the days of the show, try to save money where we can. And it's like then we looked at the hotel, and we're having to stay there. It's just going to be so nice. I don't want to pass up that opportunity, and driving the 3 hours round trip is not very kind either. So it
Right,
made
and then the
twist
parks
our
getting
arm a
out.
little.
Right, yeah, and it's understandable. You always want to do the best, but sometimes the convenience is worth the extra $20. You know what I mean? Or so.
Parking is easier. You're right there. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to deal with I-4 or any of those.
Right.
But we talked last week in prep for your show. You're going to make it easier for a couple of people, I understand, with a giveaway.
Right.
So the rules, everyone that has joined in on our page knows the rules already. So what you have to do, Tony, if you want to take it, tell them what they have to do, because this isn't an easy contest and you can win tonight. Right now we have about under maybe 20 people watching.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go ahead and do our first one if you're cool, but tell them what they have to do to earn this prize.
Well, we'd like you to be in the area, and if you're not in the area, at least you are planning to show, because it'd be nice to give these to people that are definitely going to come to the show. So local, that's all throughout Florida. We really want to be able to give these to people that are committed to come, and at least, even if you're just committed to coming to check us out for the first time, that's what we want. So. Yeah. So just please plan to show up if you win the tickets.
This is an opportunity you don't want to give up, because this is a full weekend pass.
Yes.
It's not a cheap. This isn't something that is cheap. This is a nice package. So, and I know that we have so much planned. Us going to the show even. So there is a lot of entertainment value in this. But basically, all you have to do to win this is right now. Go ahead to the comment section, and all you have to write is why you want to go to Fantasm Orlando, why it's important to you as a fan. Is it the, Savior Impala? Is it a certain guest? Is it, the atmosphere or the after parties? Whatever it is to you. But are we going to do two then? The best two out of those, or a random draw out of the two of those?
We can do the best two, or either one. Let's do the best. Let's do a great one, and then do a random one.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
So 2 chances by the end of the show that we will reveal. Now, it's not a physical ticket from what I understand. This is a weekend pass that is going to be like the will call, where they will actually have their information in the system. All you have to do is walk up to the registration desk and say, I was the winner, and you get your entry, correct?
Right. That's correct. There's no physical ticket being sent out that way.
Yes.
It's simpler.
Yes.
Simpler.
So, just getting the ticket is cool enough. Another thing for our area people, I'll even throw this in. You'll get one of the Monster Manor swag bags. Since you're on the show watching it on Monster Manor, we'll give you one of the swag bags that'll have some free gifts for you from us as well. Just for watching the show and your support of Fantasm Orlando, because this is going to be a very cool show. I can't stress it enough. I missed the first one. I'm excited to be a part of this one. It's not to be missed, guys, and it's going to be made better because of support from people like you. So this is, I can't stress enough. Tony, from the moment we started talking, and another person that shall not be named, I shall just mention him in kind thoughts. When I started talking to you guys, the thing that I loved about the feel that I got was that this was a show for fans by fans. You guys aren't doing this. I know we have to treat it like we got to make money at what we do. I get that. But you guys have such love for this and such an affection for the genre, and you truly want to give the fans something to remember. So I can't throw my support behind you enough.
Well, thank you, and I think people are ready to get back out and do some things. I think a little bit of normalcy returning. I think people are just they're dying to do something. I know we had a lot of conventions and a lot of things that went virtual and things like that. We weren't able to do anything like that, but it's I think word of mouth, and I think people are ready to just come out and do a physical show, come out and have fun, come out and meet people, people that are like-minded, people that have the same interests, and just just get together and come back to some normalcy. For normalcy, a horror convention is. What we consider normal is not normal to other normal people. So,
well, I think if 2020 and the way we started out with 2021 is any indication, something like this has always followed. Like the Great Depression was actually the birth of a lot of classic Gothic horror movies for Universal. So I think that once we've lived through this, we kind of need that release. And I am so looking forward to having physical shows. We were at Olo a couple of weeks ago in Orlando at the Central Florida Fairgrounds, and it was such a breath of fresh air to actually have that physical, proximity to people and actually be able to say, oh, look what I got. Oh, isn't this cool? And have that joint excitement about, going to whatever. It's something that I've missed a lot. I know everyone else has too.
Yeah, I've seen people like going back to the Legion, the 501st Legion we were talking about. A lot of my friends have started to go back out and do more shows and things like that. And it's just, I'm glad that stuff's coming back. I'm glad that, the horror conventions are coming back, even other sci-fi conventions and things. It's just people want to get out and do something now. They don't want to sit at home anymore.
Right.
And I mean, you can sit home and watch all the horror movies, but getting back out to meeting people is going to be fun for people, I think.
Oh, yeah.
This genre.
And I'll tell you, you make an excellent point, because I must have seen, and I never saw it in the original run, obviously, but Rocky Horror Picture Show, I've seen that a million times at home. But when they do the shadow casts, it's a whole different experience when you're sitting in a room with everyone that loves it like you do, that's just having a blast. And Phantasm is going to be loaded with experiences like that, just joint experiences that people can have, a good time and forget that the last year and a half has been so shitty for everyone. I hate, pardon my French, but it's been such a rough time. People have lost their jobs.
Yeah, so people, they're ready. They're ready to do it. And I think, we were ready to do our second year last year, and then it hit, and then you're like, there's that point of uncertainty. Are we going to do it? What are we going to do? And then when things started to fall back into place, then you got to make the decision. Do we risk doing it again? Could it fall apart again? Could the lockdowns happen again? You take the risk, and we went for it. We're doing it, so it's back.
Yeah.
Year two. Well, year two, take two is what we've been calling it. My wife coined it, I believe.
Yeah. So. Well, you got further than we did, because we really wanted to do something like that for Gillibration, because you have that 3-year window for 54, 55, and 56. And we're almost to the point where we've missed our window for doing a real show. But I am so happy that you guys are doing Phantasm again, because this is going to be an awesome event. Is there anything, and I know I'm going to put you on the spot with this, because, having done Gillibration, I know all the stuff that you kind of have in your dream pocket of stuff you'd like to do. What is one of those things that you would love to do for maybe a future, like plan on a third or a fourth or a fifth Phantasm? What's one of those bucket list things that you would love to see for Phantasm in the future?
Oh, you want us to give our secrets away, our plans away, so other people can do them? Is that what you're trying to do? No. There's a large pad out to the side of the hotel that looks like a big cobblestone brick ornate dance area, or like they would have weddings and things out there. We always thought that would be a pretty cool idea to do a car show out there if they would let us do it, or fire shows or something like that. It's a contained area, and it's long. It's as long as the whole, I forget what side of the hotel that is, but it's the entire length of the wing of that hotel. So it'd be neat to do a car show out there, or maybe like a drive-in theater type thing where people can sit on the lawn and we can show old movies, Creature from the Black Lagoon out there by the pool or something like that.
Right.
It'd be neat. There's other things that, there's some things in the works for this year that haven't been announced yet that you may or may not know of that
A few things
are coming out. They'll be coming out here soon. So we can't wait to make those announcements.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I know of just like the tip of the iceberg, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Aside from the fact that your show really is going to be the first unveiling of Monster Manor in all its glory, because up until this point, we haven't had a mobile set or anything like that, because it's all been virtual thanks to 2020. Pooey.
Yeah.
But
Right.
your show is going to be the first one that we get to go out there as a podcast, and I'm so looking forward to that. We've got the studio, we're going to be pumping that up, but also coming out as a podcast. I thank you for that too, for allowing us to come out and be a part of it.
You're welcome, and we thank you, and we're glad to have you aboard. We're glad to have you partnering, and it's going to be great. We really are looking forward to it. We can't wait to what's going to be unveiled this year.
Yeah, and so many of our friends are involved too. Again, it's like I'm chomping at the bit to, talk about some of the mutual friends that we've had over the years, and that we're all going to be in one big show together. It's going to be so amazing.
And that's another thing it's kind of a neat idea, is to not just have a show that's one show, one group's doing it. It's more of like, pulling in another group that they do their thing at our show, but they expand our show, but it's still their own entity. They're not just doing it and we take all the glory for it. It's more like, how can I explain it? Like when other companies come together and form a parent company.
Yes.
It's something like that. I don't know how to put it into words, but it's a bunch of
almost like an artist or horror co-op, if that makes sense.
Co-op, excellent. I don't know why I think of that, but yeah.
Yeah, you've got so many, and I can't spoil anything that I know, because I've been anxiously talking to friends that I probably haven't talked to in a year, about the way that we can bring our talents together. This whole show is going to be like a block party. It's so I just can't tell you enough how thankful we are that you guys are doing this and taking the chance on bringing this back, because it's such a much needed thing.
Well, thank you.
And again, if you're just joining, I do want to remind you, put in the comments. The producer lady is watching the comments as well. Share it with your friends, because these are 2 tickets and they're random draw, but you never know. If you tell a friend that we're having this contest right now, they could win the other ticket, and then you go together. So tell all your friends. Let's get that viewership up. We're at 19 people watching now. Let's see it at 25. At least 25. I'll have a small goal, but bump it up a little bit. Tell your friends, hey, there's a great show on right now. Take a break from Svengoolie or whatever.
Right.
But I mean, it's going to be an awesome show, and by the end of this show, we are going to announce the winner. Correct? The winners, I should say. So,
Sure, well, it's almost, what are we, 5 months out, 6 months out from the show. So I lost track of time. I'm so terrible with it. But we've got a lot of time to unveil other things and come up with other ideas and stuff like that. And like I said, there's some announcements coming up very, very soon that I think everyone will really be interested in. So
yes. So what's one of those bucket list items that's for you personally? Is there something that you would love to see happen in the near future for Tony GRECO aside from Fantasm?
Oh, aside from me, well, taking care of my family would be top up there. In terms of expanding company wise, I don't know. I really think that this is an opportunity for a new show to take off and to give something back. I really don't have aspirations that I can think of in terms of anything else for my life right now, other than my family and this show. This show is my not eggs in one basket, but this is what I want to really drive home. This is what I really want this show to work.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I'm a family man myself, and kudos to you. I love that answer.
I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I'm fairly humble, I believe, in this regard. I just I don't know. I just
Well, I noticed that about you. You're very humble, almost to a fault, because you don't want to have, you don't want to be the face that people, that they got to see to get into the show. But I'll tell you, man, coming from a friend, I love that someone like you is in charge of this show, because you are literally one of us. You are a fan just like us. You're doing it for all the right reasons. There are no lofty aspirations or anything like that. You're in it because you're a fan. You want to see a show like that, and then you know that 2,000 of your closest friends want to see a show just like it.
exactly, and it's about, like I say, it's hard to say, you want the success, and you want it to get big, and you want it to work, and you want to make money and all that kind of stuff, but you also want it to be a show or any kind of venture that people really want to go. They want to be there. I have to go to this. I have to do this. Not because I have to spend money or I have to do this. It's I want to be there. I want to see that show. I want to see these people. I really have to do it. And that's the kind of amusement park idea or model that we want this show to have. We want people to go there and think that they're at a carnival or an amusement park or something like that, not just a building with walls with guests and stuff to buy. So
Yes. Well, I tell you, I can't wait. I know that the people that we've told and asked to be a part of this with us, they've all been excited as well. So again, thank you for that.
welcome.
As far as I didn't want to leave this out, because you did talk about 501st and your charity work there,
Mhm.
and giving back is important to you. Is there anything that you can reveal to us yet about Phantasm? I know that we spoke a little bit about it in passing, but I don't know if it was like a formal announcement how there would be a support for this show.
Scares that care. Yes. Yes.
Yes,
That's
I
charity
didn't know
that
if we could talk about that yet.
that's fine. Yes, they're on board. I talked to them. It was about a month ago. I will reach back out with them. But yes, they are on board, and they seem very supportive, and they're excited as well. So I know they're out of, I think, Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. So that's a trek for them. But
Yes. So, I mean,
we're happy.
that's important to me too. I mean, you give back and you're helping, and scares that care. Nobody thinks of horror and charity in the same breath.
Right.
And you do a show like Gillibration. We did the same thing. We partnered up with Give Kids the World, because I met them through Hearts of Reality, the charity that I work with, thanks to my involvement as an ex-con on Face Off. And it really opened our hearts, to see the kids that it directly benefited. So I'm excited that this show has that same mentality, that it is our responsibility to give back. If we've been, basically given much, it's our responsibility to help others that haven't. So again, that was another reason I really enjoyed talking to you guys, and becoming friends through the course of this thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But
like I said, it's that co-op mentality that you brought up earlier that I couldn't find the words for, and it's funny because we homeschool and we're part of a co-op, so I can't believe I didn't think of that. But yeah, that's what we're going for. We want other people to come into this and feel like they're part of something, and they're not just booth space. They're not just taking up space. They're actually promoting themselves. We promote them. They promote us.
grow together.
Yeah, yeah, grow together. Yeah,
Yeah. Because I think a lot of shows miss that too. That they think they're an island, and no matter what the genre, whether it's a mega convention on any level, whether it's comics or toys or whatever, you get to a point where you think you can do it all yourself, and it's not like that. You know, you are growing together, growing within a community, and the horror genre is huge. It's ripe with a bunch of fans, and we are all creative. That's the one thing I got to say about being in a genre like horror or sci-fi. I've never seen more creative people than in the Halloween haunt community, and that's in your name too. You are a Phantasm haunt and horror convention.
Right.
So, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see how this develops. But I want to be respectful of your time because we're at the quarter to the hour. Is there anything, you know, parting that you would like to leave with us, Tony, before you head off and enjoy the rest of your weekend?
Um, uh, we didn't touch on it during this, but we also are having our film festival return. So there's anybody that came up with a movie, or if you had time off during the pandemic and shot something, I don't know how many people you'd have in your movie since we weren't allowed to be together or whatever, but you can submit through the website your short film. And
That's just the info at phantasmorlando.net.
That's our email to it, but it's also, there's a link on I believe there's a drop down on our website as well.
Oh, for the Shock Reel Cinema. Okay.
Yeah, Shock Reel Cinema. Yeah, but for submittal, I believe you do send it to info at.
Yes. Yeah, that's going to be awesome too. I mean, there's a lot, and I know that I've forgotten a lot of what because you know you get in front of the camera and you forget. But check out the website. Definitely go to phantasmorlando.net. We have links, of course, through the playback. You're going to see it there. Miss Producer Lady, where are we with the comments? Do we have any that you can show us? Or I might have missed it. Do we have any comments for that? Okay. It looks like we got one. Now, Tony, in case that, you know, because Saturday nights are hard to compete, can we do maybe a week's deadline? Do you want to maybe revisit this next week, and that way we have a chance for more people to enter?
For the tickets, yes, that's absolutely fine. That's
okay.
Yeah, we know Saturday nights people are, like I said, things are opening up. Maybe people want to go out and do something. They don't want to sit at a podcast.
Yes. Yeah. So that, thank you for that. So we'll still offer for, you know, Tony's favorite comment, and then a random draw, so you have the chance to win 2 tickets total. We will have it on the playback, obviously, and I'll do posts throughout the week to remind you. And then Tony and I will get back together with each other next Saturday and announce the winner. If that's cool with you, Tony, we will do that.
Sounds great.
Excellent, man. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure. I'm glad I got to put a face to the voice, because we've talked a lot by phone, obviously, with the pandemic. But I can't wait to meet you in person, man. I owe you a big hug for everything you're doing for us horror fans.
Well, thank you for everything you've done, and thanks for having me on, and thanks for everyone for watching. So,
yes, very, very happy to do that for you, man. And we will talk to you again very, very soon. Anytime you want to come on the show, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, tell us about something cool. You're always welcome. Your family.
Excellent. Thank you very much, sir.
All righty, my friend. So we're going to say goodbye to Tony for now, but I think he's going to stick around in the green room because he's going to get to meet Boris.
Yeah, there was no box on the lawn to stand in. Boris wandered the street like a hobo for the last 45 minutes.
I'm going to say it now, Boris, okay? I mean, you know, we've grown a lot. We've grown together through this experience since January. So
no, Boris not interested.
We don't have the box on no, not that way. But not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, but what?
We're going to take the box out of the front yard, and you can actually wait in
the backyard.
Yes. No.
Oh, great. Stay next to the shed.
Wait in the AC, because it's also getting hotter now.
Well, because Boris smells when
yeah.
Out. You don't want the fat guy smelling.
That's what we're doing here.
You know, producer lady's not here to defend you.
No.
You know, so you're getting beaten.
No. Yeah. But yes. So Boris is in the house, people, and he has a new review that he will talk to you about a certain comic book. He had a very productive time at Olo, and this is one of the fruits of that labor. So without any further ado, let's go to the intro for Old Boris. And I saw a lady pop in.
What do you mean, Old Boris? Hey everybody, Boris here. If you call Boris old, somebody left the phone next to the thing, next to sound check. So Boris gonna send text to sexy lady people, random sexy lady people. Hey baby, what's up?
In absence of
This is Scott Fenstermaker. He making no pants on text to you.
Oh well, she's gonna reach through the electrons.
She got no magic power. Your powers are weak, old man.
Boris. Disclaimer, number one. And number two, I don't care what he says.
Because they don't produce
the box comes back next show.
What?
The box comes back next show.
And then the smell come next show because it's probably going to be 90 degrees. So Boris going to smell like fish market. That's fine. Okay, disclaimer. You can read on the bottom. Boris not pointing to crotch. You point to whatever come out the big mouth. Blame Boris. Because by this time, if you don't know Boris say what he mean and think what he say and don't think before he talk, it's your fault. Go on Boris' Facebook and say, hey, you mess up. And Boris go, mess up what? Oh, yeah, whatever. Then they block you. Because, that's that. Come on, wait, what, 9 shows in? If you don't know Boris going to say something, probably. Listen, Boris the guy you got to apologize for before you meet him and then apologize after.
Yeah.
Like, Boris cannot go to formal functions anymore.
I won't take you anymore.
That's anymore, yeah. Oh, by the way, Boris found 2 passes for the Fantasm. Thank you very much. They were on the table. So no. he took in the master and the master and the girlfriend. He met their pickleball. They met the pickleball. They were pickling the ball, and the master going to take them. So thank you, Mr. GRECO.
There are no physical tickets. This is all virtual. So it's Will call. Ha! Caught you.
Call what? Will Riker? Hey, you ever know, like, he's on the internet, you slow Will Riker down, he's like, he sound like drunk uncle. Go to, like, Fact to Fiction, slow down, he's like, have you ever met a hobo? It's funny as heck, but it's here nor there. Because Boris got the review. But he read the review. Oh! What? Wait, guess God, what?
Stop it.
That's fine. Boris ain't got no money. And what you gonna do about it? Throw a shoe at him? You can't. Okay, that was bad.
You got the chancla?
That was what? Neon green chancla?
Try me one more again.
What, are you in the Dollar Tree right now? What the heck was the neon green chancla come from? Okay, anyway. 3 things about the producer lady, because since she hit him with the chancla. 1, she can strangle you with a cordless phone. Throw this back. Ruined about $10 worth of sound equipment. 2, producer lady don't wear a watch. She gonna decide what time it is. And 3, an animal once made the mad and she kicked it in the face, and now it's called a giraffe. That's the 3 thing about producer lady. Murder's House of Shovels sponsored that. We could dig it. And Dr. Peggy's Pet Zoo closed again. We lost a kid this week. School trip. It's like the, Gradumagoria, whatever, the graduation trip. Little Timmy Haskins got too close to Apocalypse, the gate that they built the place around, and they're not sure. They can't say, listen, if you don't find the body, it's a missing person. So right now it's a missing person. So it's closed down. And by the way, you use Pui. You sued. The Pui of the week is Fenstermaker for stealing Pui. And we got 1 Pui of the week. What was it? The half-clothed Hoochie Mama at the pilot in North Carolina. Somebody wrote in anonymously. She dressed like Lady of the Evening and smelled like, bad fish or bad garlic or something. Bad decisions, yes. She smelled like bad decisions. And she had the pilot and somebody was going to spit on her. Who it was, I'll give you a hint. He's got the bullhorn. So anyway, Boris went to Olo a couple weeks ago, March 28th. Thank you. Trish Steve, went to collect the Deviants, invite Boris Olo, and he met a lot of people, thanks to Trish and Steve. And one was Silverline Publishing, the indie publishers for comic books, graphic novels, things like that. And what he did was they gave it to him. Boris didn't steal this. It's called Bloodline. Now, this is based on a short story by Sidney Williams and Robert Pettit called does the bloodline run on time? It's kind of like a vampire story about this little train on the ground that deliver food to vampires. Because in the future, this book, you got the vampires that are like, Dracula. A bunch of Draculas run around. They eat people that regular people bring them. And that's this part of the story. Like, there's people out there that bring them food. And then you got, like, these feral vampires. Boris can't do with the gloves, but come on. What you see is up here. There's like this thing. There's a feral vampire. Those are the ones that kind of
uploaded that producer lady can actually show.
Well, she's too busy throwing shoes, probably.
There you go.
There we go. So do you see it like in the little corner there? That's the vampire. That's the feral vampires, and they're more dangerous. So it's about the story about the guy. New page. There we go. What's that the one? What I can't see. That's the guy. That's the hero of the book. He's from Texas. And what he does is he used to be a guy that bring the food. He'd say, "Hey, girlie, you want to come in? I'll give you like a McDonald's cheeseburger." And she'd say, "Yeah." And he bring in the vampire and sell her. So they drink the blood. But with Oopsie, he give his actually daughter that he never seen to the vampire. Spoiler. And he turned against the vampire and he hunted him. This book also, Rob Sachetto do the pencils. Teddy Pallett do the ink. Jeremy Kahn do colors. It's nice colors in here, really. There's really good colors. The story is adapted, so it's kind of like what Boris it was a nice story, but he preferred like 2 books. It would have been better as like a longer story because when you cram in the comic book, it's like Harry Potter. Got the 8 million thing and you tried to cram in the movie. And Boris think that a lot of good stuff in the book was probably in the story too that they had to cut out. But it's nice. Sidney Williams, the writer, one of the writers, he done talked to Roland from, excuse me, Boris choke up, but Roland from Civilized, and they make the book. So what happened in this book is he meet up with 2 people, a big guy and the little guy. Like the little girl, she named like Quicksand, and the big guy, he'd called the Cajun. And what they do is they're going to go and disrupt what's called the bloodline train, which bring the food. Now, Boris liked the art. It looked like, we talked defense to make it look like a pretty much a mix between Bruce Timm and the old, like the Vault of Fear comic or the Creepshow comic from William Gaines. They had a lot of backgrounds with color. Boris, why it takes expensive to make, comic better than Boris. Why a lot of these pictures have nothing, like background, but color? They say, well, let me show you a magazine. And the old style magazine was a lot of the background have a color. Boris didn't know that. Boris liked the art; that it looked good. He said, like, what's going on? He said, it's kind of like a mix of like almost a cartoon and Bruce Timm. Why you give me up yours? You have to make the thing. He told me 4 minutes. You cannot rush perfection. Anyway, Rob Sachetto, please, Boris accent. He more famous for doing like zombie posters. He do a lot of zombie portraits and stuff. He does a lot of zombie books. So when he did this, it looked like he take zombie stuff, put it for real people, but it looked kind of interesting. But it's not going to spoil the end. What are you standing there pacings for?
I'm just listening.
You're just listening. Okay. Anyway, but it's not going to spoil the ending, but it's a good book. You should buy it. Support Silverline. This is one of the 2 horror comics that Roland talked to him about. Another one is a demon in a person. They fight out the demons. So Boris say, no, let's do the vampires because he liked the Dracula. And you go to silverline.com, I think, and then you go and you get this book. They also got a nice book, Kalis, he's about the super spy, and Cat and Mouse about superheroes in New Orleans. That's another book you read. And you actually pay for them. So yeah, Boris didn't steal. So now you master wilderness. What, with the 4, now we 3? We're done now. Boris can do all the promos for his lordship. Because,
The lordship isn't here.
That's the lady. Oh, we call you man-produced lady. No wonder she wear the pants in the family. Mr. wear the skirt.
No, she wears the chancla in the family.
The chancla.
Yeah.
Nice. You see, got the same shirt. Same shit, but they moved the button to fool you.
It's a uniform.
It's a uniform.
Yes.
The thing walk out the bedroom going, is it time for the show? So May 1st, we got Mitch Hyman, legendary director of, you're going to love this one, Bubba the Redneck Werewolf. Boris watched it like 7 times in one night because, first of all, Mitch Hyman played what, Satan?
Yes.
You got the werewolf, there's a redneck, you got Satan, and you got the trailer park. Boris going to just watch this all weekend because that's the 3 ingredients for, like, greatness. That's greatness. That and the fact that Satan show up in the trailer park with the werewolf. And Boris, you're going to like it. Maybe you go to Mitch Hyman's site, the Fantasm place, on the Monster Manor. You could pre-download the buys for the Mitch Hyman. And there's a German dubbed. But, Bubba the Redneck is like, I can fish or whatever, but then, they're very angry. It's like angry werewolves yell at each other. The German very angry. It's like angry language, like, I love you. Actually, well, there go the Germans at the remember, disclaimer, you can say that now. Don't cancel Borders, please. What else we got? We got new swag. Got new swag on the website. We got like little coasters. We got mugs. We got drink holders with the drink bottles that they put the Monster Man on. We're like Kiss. Festerberger turned into Gene Simmons. He's gonna slap Monster Man on everything. You want toilet paper? We're gonna have the toilet paper with put this lady born on it. And the disclaimer, you wipe your butt with the disclaimer, flush it. That's next. This is like phase 1. Phase 2 is the disclaimer toilet paper. Oh, now he do the Yahoo.
The rodeo.
Because apparently, bottles only get 10 minutes, and then. All right, so that's it for Boris. Next with Mitch Hyman, he gonna probably the Bubba the Redneck Werewolf. We bought a new toy. We got a new toy that we may do, but this you see in the back there the fence to make a little apple lady still around. Boris had to throw his out. It stunk. So are we done? Can we go? You gonna cut them off again, or we're just gonna sit here and babble until you shut them off, or Boris gonna say goodbye like a normal human being?
Say goodbye let's break tradition and say goodbye like take us out. Take us out, Boris.
This is Scott Fenster saying goodbye from Monster Manor. Have a good night, and thank you everybody for watching. And by the way, Boris won those 2 passes. Don't bother to check in. Oh, by the way. That's right, people. Get prepared. Naughtiness coming your way. But thanks.
Boris, no.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Boris bought like 5 new bathing suits and a banana hammock for this. What? We done or what?
Yeah.
We done? We out?
We're clear.
Still out, and it says live.
Hey, Monster Kids. Thanks for hanging out for another episode of Monster Manor. Do us a favor, though, and hit the bell to get reminders of when we add new content. Subscribe to our channel, and while you're waiting for new shows, check out our website at www.monstermanor1313.com. New content at least every other week, sometimes even more often. Like and follow our Facebook page as well for other content. And lastly, if you want to help us out, check out our Patreon under Monster Manor with Scott Fenster. Thanks for hanging out until the end.
Moving? Oh, we're going to talk.